folks, so today I'm giving some young adult book recommendations, and this time they are for retellings. I just love retellings in general. I love this concept of taking this well-known story and making it your own, and making it sci-fi, making it whatever you want it to be, and just making this timeless story better, different, more modern. I love the idea of it. And there's just so many great retellings out there. And so today I'm just going to recommend a few that I have read and have absolutely loved. Before I start this video, remember to leave it a like, comment down below, subscribe, do all of that great stuff that really does help me out. But now let's get right into the recommendations. Alright, so first we have a book that's not technically one retelling, it's an anthology of different retellings of really popular stories. And that's Because You Love to Hate Me, 13 Tales of Villainy by 13 amazing authors and 13 booktubers. And this book is so cool. So what the authors do is that they take this very well-known story and write from the perspective of the villain. And because they're such great authors, the stories of this book are so good. And they write from Medusa, Moriarty from Sherlock Holmes, the Giant from Jack and the Beanstalk. I guess all of the stories are great. There are definitely some that are not as good as the others. But most of the stories are just so unique, so refreshing, and are written in such beautiful writing. This is definitely one of the better anthologies I've read. And each retelling gave its own unique take to that story. Whether it was the plot itself or how it was written, or whatever it may be. Some of them most definitely left a mark on me. Some of them even taught me a little about life, even made me think a little harder about who I was, and I loved that this book was able to do that for me. I don't recommend the booktubers' essays. They don't really provide much to the book, but I mean, if you want to see the writing of some of your favorite booktubers, I guess, but I wouldn't recommend it. I love this book for the stories. The stories are so good. Next we have Geekerella by Ashley Poston. This is a Cinderella retelling, and it's about this girl named Elle who sees this cosplay contest for one of her favorite TV shows, and so participates in it so that she can meet, because it's one of the prizes, the new actor on this show. One she is kind of uncertain about. She doesn't know if he'll be able to play the role, and she wants to meet him. She's been scraping together all of this money behind her stepmother's back because her stepmother obviously does not want her to go to this ball and is not going to give her the finances to do so. And so she's doing this behind her stepmother's back. And then we also have a dual perspective with Darian, who is this new actor in this new role. And a lot of people have already dismissed it. A lot of the fans, they think that he'll just be a heartthrob, that he won't be a great actor. But he's also experiencing this fame, awkward meet and greets, stuff like that. And he just has to kind of deal with all of the weird, annoying things that come with newfound fame. This book, yes, it's a romance. And it is a very cute romance. And it's also very cool in how it develops and how it eventually builds up and settles at the end of the book. I think the payoff for the romance was very satisfying. But more than that, like, it's such an ode to like geek culture, to like fangirling or fanboying over like a TV show or a movie or a book. I feel like that's what made me love this book, and that's what made me click with it. Like that feeling of, oh, will this person be able to act in this role? Will this person be able to give this book the justice it deserves? And also like following all the drama and following all the news and all of these updates, like, felt so real, and it really clicked with that part of me. The retelling aspect was also really cool. It followed the basic storyline and structure of the original story, while also giving this like cosplay kind of modern take on it. I loved how they used the pumpkin as like a food truck in this one. I thought that was really creative by Ashley Poston. And yeah, I wouldn't go into this like wanting life lessons or anything. Like, it doesn't go there. It's just a sweet, fun contemporary that talks about fame, that sometimes talks about the downfalls of fame, but overall it's just a fun ride, and I got through it so quickly. Well, I kind of had to because I read it as a challenge to read a book in a sitting, but I just think in general, like, you can fly through it really quickly. So I highly recommend it. Alright, so next book I want to recommend is technically a series, and that is the Land of Stories series by Chris Colfer. Yes, it's technically middle grade, but I just think it'd be fun for anyone in any age group to read. And it's basically a 6-part saga set in this fantasy world where all of the fairy tales we know and love live together. So Red Riding Hood, Cinderella, all of those fairy tale characters live together. I just think it's so creative. Just look at this map. You have Red Riding Hood, you have the Red Riding Hood Kingdom, the Charming Kingdom, the Fairy Kingdom, and it's just a lot of politics, it's a lot of drama, it's a lot of magic and fun. We follow our main protagonists, Alex and Connor Bailey, who find themselves trapped inside this magical world through opening this book that their grandmother gave them, and they have to try to escape from this world. Along the way, they meet Jack and Goldilocks, who are in a relationship. Jack, Goldilocks, and Red Riding Hood are in a love triangle. Like, this book is just so much fun. The entire series is just so much fun. It has a great writing style, has great characters, and I really think I'm going to give this series a reread because it's just so much fun. I highly recommend you give the series a go. And Alex and Connor learn so much through this book, and they grow so much through the series, and I loved watching their progression. Also, all of the other characters' progressions, I thought it was all so satisfying. Alright, so that is all the retellings I can think of now. I'm probably missing a few, but if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, turn the post notifications on, and I'll see you next time with another video. Bye. I also do quickly want to talk about some retellings that I want to read that I have on my shelves. So I have Cinderella is Dead by Killian Bear, and this is obviously a Cinderella retelling. And I did start it, but I just didn't continue with it. But it looks like it's going to have great LGBTQ representation, and it's going to be a fun fantasy story. And I cannot wait to read a fantasy Cinderella retelling. I've read a contemporary Cinderella retelling, I've read sci-fi, and this will be my fantasy, and I cannot wait. It looks really interesting. Then I have Heartless, which is an Alice in Wonderland retelling, and it also looks really, really interesting, and I really want to read it. Alright, now, bye.